be held.
Point Aryaman Sundaram. Aryaman Sundaram, we are about to speak now to Vikas Singh. We are about to speak now to Vikas Singh, Aryaman Sundaram, who holds the very unenviable job of being the lawyer for Ranjit Sinha. You know, before I go to Mr. Vikas Singh, Aryaman Sundaram, for lawyers, does propriety matter at all? Does the way the country, for people like, you know, there can be a legal technical argument, but at one point, just a curious question, the whole country seems to believe that this man is a dubious man, has done dubious things, is bringing the name of the institution down. Just because he has skin which may be as thick as hide, should morals and propriety not matter and should be... What is your take on this before I go to Vikas Singh?
My own take on this, Arnab, is without a doubt propriety demands that if there are certain positions... Look, let's understand, the CBI's credibility over a period of time has got lower and lower. It has sunk lower and lower. We would like to have believed that the CBI was this absolutely impartial, correct, honest body. In fact, people used to petition as lawyers. We would petition for a client that the case be transferred to CBI, because as far as we were concerned, that was really the sanctum of every impartial, correct, honest, uninfluenceable investigation. Unfortunately, over a period of time, it has all changed.
No, why should we accept it that way?
An all-time low, and what has happened?
Why should we accept it that way? Why should we be so cynical about the situation?
6 feet under.
Why should we be so cynical?
And we have to. That is why I said the larger issue is we have to completely reconsider the entire law which has been laid down protecting the CBI by Supreme Court judgments, protecting the CBI so that they will be answerable also. They have to be answerable, and right now the CBI is working under a protection because in faith, in belief, the courts also vested the director of the CBI with powers, laid down various guidelines. Unfortunately, today, it is time that we relook at all these guidelines and see what we can do.
Okay,
because otherwise, we are going to be faced with this unhappy position.
What?
This is not the case of somebody holding office as a corporate head or something else where you turn about propriety and he says, I haven't yet been proven guilty. You are talking about a charge of partiality.
Absolutely.
To a person who's the head of a so-called impartial body.
Yeah.
And you've got to be purer than Caesar's wife. And in such a case, such offices, propriety would demand that the person step down. But at the same time, if he steps down, in his eyes, possibly it will be an admission of guilt, and therefore he doesn't want to do that.
It doesn't matter what it is for him. Frankly, Mr. Sundaram, I agree with you only on your phrasing. I disagree.
And so is the rest of the country in the same position.
You say we would like to believe that the CBI is going to be an impartial body. I would just rephrase that to saying we want it to be, not that we would like to believe. Now I have a few questions for the lawyer of the CBI Chief, Ranjit Sinha. Good evening, Mr. Sinha. My first, Mr. Vikas Singh, I don't know why I keep calling you Mr. Ranjit Sinha. Please don't take it, otherwise maybe I actually want Mr. Ranjit Sinha to come on the news. So it's an unconscious slip. Apologize for that. Vikas Singh, not Ranjit Sinha.
There is nothing unconscious when Arnab says something.
No, I have
always something conscious, something always.
Well, in that case, you can take it as a message that I want your client to have the courage to come on the news. I've never seen a CBI
yes,
chief,
I'm going to speak
chief
exactly
so nervous about coming on a TV program.
What Ranjit Sinha would speak.
Okay, so on behalf of Ranjit Sinha, the questions go to you. My first question is, the Supreme Court has categorically stated that this man should recuse himself from the 2G investigations. In other words, his credibility and integrity is doubted vis-a-vis the 2G scam. In other words, therefore, his credibility and integrity will be also doubted in all the other scams that he is investigating. You have any doubt on this so far? If a man is not fit to investigate one scam because of certain very serious charges, then basically the standing, credibility, integrity of the person is under doubt in that case and thereby in all other cases.
Can I answer now?
Yes.
Well, Arnab, the situation today in court was that I was given a choice at one point of time by the court to think whether I could myself recuse and let this matter rest at that. Now, that wasn't a very easy choice because as far as the 2G matter is concerned, there is nothing which is going to be done by the CBI Director in the next 12 days. But since my client was so sure of himself, and since he was so convinced that these charges are completely baseless, I said, no, I will invite a judgment.
Sir,
I want the court to decide. If I'm wrong, then punish me for my wrong. If I'm not wrong, then please vindicate my stand. Now, when the special public prosecutor argued at length by a note saying that, I have not done the trial as I should have done it in accordance with
sir,
the
please, can you come
law.
to the point? You are giving a very long reply to a very simple question.
Arnab, now let me
a man who is...
Arnab, please let me complete.
Sir, please, KTS Tulsi, welcome. Please come to the point, Mr. Singh.
The point is that I had an answer to each and every factual and legal aspects raised by the special public prosecutor. Now, what the Supreme Court did after that, the Supreme Court, instead of passing an order indicting me, because I had invited that, I said that please indict me if I'm wrong and please punish me if I'm wrong. Instead of doing that, the Supreme Court says, without casting any aspersions on the director CBI
you are really trying to... No, you are really trying to be...
We are asking
Mr.
Ranjit Sinha to recuse from the...
Okay, so here's a simple... No, Mahesh Jethmalani, you give Vikas Singh this kind of leg room out here. No, watch it.
If the court had felt that
fundamental question, we have a very intelligent lawyer called Vikas Singh on the program, who after all, is the lawyer for Ranjit Sinha. He's trying to find some legal leg room. I had simply asked him one question, Mr. Jethmalani, that why... No, one second. One second. My question is simple. Listen.
You please read the order.
I have read it, sir. I have read it and I know what the court has said. What the court has said is, and I quote...
No, it's not yet available on the website.
Sir, I am telling you what the court has said, and I know what the summary of what has happened in court. I have my sources and my reporters. First, it says for us, it appears that all is not well, and prima facie, it seems the allegations made in the application by the NGO have some credibility.
No, it doesn't say so. No, the order doesn't say all this.
Well, I mean, are these not the observations of the Supreme Court today? Has the Supreme Court CBI Director not been asked to recuse himself from investigations in the 2G spectrum scam?
Without casting any aspersion.
Forget the technicality, has the CBI Director been asked to recuse himself from the 2G spectrum scam or not? Yes or no?
Without casting any
yes or no? No, yes or no? But why would he? Why would the Supreme Court of India say? I'm coming to you, Mr. Jethmalani. I know you're restless on that point. Why would the Supreme Court of India say to the CBI Director, do not investigate the 2G scam? Not because the weather in Delhi has changed. Not because the weather in Delhi has changed. Mahesh Jethmalani.
I'll tell you why, Arnab.
Mahesh Jethmalani has a counterpoint, sir. Mahesh Jethmalani.
Arnab,
can I just complete
Mahesh Jethmalani, please.
What you're saying? I have to leave Arnab.
Mahesh Jethmalani first.
Arnab, let Vikas please hear what I'm saying, and then you can respond to it quickly. Arnab, Vikas Singh is taking advantage of the rectitude and propriety shown by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is not an investigating agency. It has had an overview of the case as presented by the Special Public Prosecutor and by Mr. Prashant Bhushan. And because it's not an investigating agency, the Supreme Court has said that this is enough for us to hold that he must recuse himself. There's gross impropriety. After all, the guest gate list has to be investigated by an investigating agency.
Absolutely.
And that's the job of the government. The government should now investigate Guestgate on its own. The Supreme Court is a judicial body, not an investigating one. It has been more than fair to Mr. Vikas Singh's client, and Vikas Singh should not use the fairness shown to him.
Don't do this, Mr. Singh.
As a guise for suggesting that his client is innocent.
And in fact, I repeat myself today, and I'm being accused of misquoting the Supreme Court by Vikas Singh, a charge which I completely and vehemently deny. Vikas Singh, I'd like to remind you that the Supreme Court has also said that the allegations against your client, the CBI Director, are prima facie credible. The allegation pertained to Ranjit Sinha allegedly trying to protect some 2G accused. If the CBI Director has been accused of trying to protect 2G accused and the Supreme Court finds the allegation prima facie credible, does he have any locus standi to continue as the CBI chief? This is the most shameful day in the history of the CBI and on national television, yet you come on and you're protecting your client. In fact, today on moral grounds, perhaps you should reconsider keeping on this case. I would have thought your own convictions would have been shaken today. I mean, please be logical.
Well, Arnab,
because you had claimed, no, I'm sorry, I haven't completed with you. You had claimed, I think on this program, that the allegations are baseless and this is some kind of deep-rooted conspiracy against Sinha. Your claims have been undermined severely by the Supreme Court. What more do you want, Mr. Singh? Come on, Mr. Singh.
You don't appreciate the reason why this order has been passed. In my view, it's purely my view. What the Supreme Court was really faced with was a situation where there was a conflict of views between the CBI Director and the Special Public
No, Ashish Khetan.
By the Supreme Court itself. Now to resolve that issue, they said that already was accused
in the
as far as
history of
the
CBI.
Tulsi case is concerned.
This is unprecedented
Arnab,
in the
I'm
history
off
of
now
criminal
because I had only said I'll be there till 9:40.
Just 1 minute. Hear the contrary
Arnab,
views,
thank
please,
you.
Mr. Singh. It's a
I'm
debate.
Just-
Hear the contrary views, Mr. Singh. It's a debate.
No,
One second.
I said I'll only be there till 9:40.
I know. Give me 5 more minutes. Yes.
One question. You as a criminal lawyer, as a senior lawyer, as a former additional Solicitor General, tell me that in the history of criminal investigation, you can recall one case where the chief of the investigating agency has been asked to recuse and rather stay away from an investigation.
Not
Tell
one,
me
not
instance
one.
in the history
Never,
of criminal
never.
investigations.
Never.
The chief of investigation agency has been asked to stay away.
Not,
because
never
he is
has it happened.
compromising the probe. Because he is compromising the proceedings in the court. Can you cite one instance?
Show me one instance. Give me one instance in the history of India when the CBI chief has been told not to investigate a case.
You are saying you
But
want to go into the rationale?
not
What
appreciating.
rationale?
Show us one instance, sir.
Arnab, you're not appreciating the fact that I had volunteered that I'm ready to suffer a judgment and I'm ready to face the consequences and I'm ready to be punished if I've done a wrongdoing.
That doesn't make sense.
So I was inviting a judgment by the Supreme Court.
The integrity of criminal
I was inviting a judgment.
No, that doesn't matter. Mahesh Jethmalani, doesn't matter. It has never happened before in the history of India. Mahesh Jethmalani.
Giving me a judgment, the Supreme Court said that
inviting the Supreme Court to go beyond its jurisdiction, and the Supreme Court rightly refrained from doing so, given the fact that it was not an investigating agency. The Supreme Court, if the Supreme Court had done what Vikas Singh had said to indict Singh, not being an investigating agency, Vikas Singh would have criticized the Supreme Court today.
And Arnab, one intervention I want to make, and this is a very serious issue, Arnab. You should raise it. Today, the right-hand man of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the BJP party president is being tried by the CBI in a case of rape, murder and extortion. Today, the left-hand man of Mr. Narendra Modi, Mr. Adani,
now I think your debate is...
I want to stay to the subject, please, and I go back to this question. I am going back to the issue, and 1 second, Mr. Vikas Singh, 1 minute. Mr. Vikas Singh, 1 minute. Mr. Vikas Singh, give me 60 seconds. I have one more question for Vikas Singh before he goes. 60 seconds for Vikas. 60 seconds doesn't take much long. 1 second, 60 seconds. 60 seconds. Today, Mr. Vikas Singh, it appears today that you are short of an argument. My last question to you is, your claim throughout has been that this whole diary is a false document. You have said that the documents produced to place allegations against your client are inauthentic. Please put back your mic, sir. Otherwise, you are just removing your mic. I've been told that you can just put your mic back. Wait for 1 more minute. Wait for 1 more minute. We want you to answer this question. Sir, you said to me on this program, Arnab, this diary you are quoting is a fake document, inauthentic document. Today, unfortunately, Mr. Vikas Singh, you are clearly on the back foot because it is on the basis of this very document that you called fake as well as the diary that the allegations have been made against your client in the first place. And if the Supreme Court of India has found these allegations to be prima facie credible, clearly there is merit and credibility to the documents and the diary that is placed before it. So on that also you have been proven wrong. I mean, how can your client, how can the CBI chief stay anymore? Please.
Arnab, I'm sure you were not there in Supreme Court, so you were probably not, you have not been properly briefed as to what went on in the Supreme Court.
I know what you said, sir. I know what you said.
Wait a minute, Arnab, if you ask a question, at least wait for an answer. The diary has been a non-issue. The diary has not been considered. The diary issue is completely buried. The only thing which was discussed for the last 3 days is the noting on the file with regard to the Maran matter, with regard to the Reliance matter, and with regard to the transfer of Rastogi. So the diary has not been the basis of this order. The diary has not been given any credibility by the Supreme Court. The diary has not been given any credibility by the Supreme Court. and this case has only turned on the point that there was a serious conflict between the special public prosecutor and the director CBI, and it is for that reason alone, in my view, I mean, it's the wisdom of the judges. Ultimately they take a call of how to write an order and what to decide, but I had very clear instructions from the director that if there is, after such detailed hearing, if the court comes to the view that there has been any
then
I am ready
Mahesh
to
Jethmalani, Mr. Jethmalani.
The identity of the whistleblower.
Thank you, Arnab. Now,
why were you exposing the identity of the whistleblower?
Arnab, Ashish, just 1 minute. Arnab, just to clarify what Vikas has said, what Vikas has just said about the diary, it is true that since Prashant Bhushan didn't reveal the source of where he got the diary from, the diary stood unsubstantiated. But that doesn't mean that the diary now is of no value. An investigating agency now has to take up the investigation and find out whether the diary is authentic or not, since we don't have a source for it. But let me tell you one thing. The noting with Mr. Vikas Singh talks about
that there is a need for a thorough probe into the diary. There is a need for a thorough probe, not just into the diary, but the nexus that the politicians have with Ranjit Sinha. All the scamsters, all the accused of 2G scam and other Hawala operators and their nexus with Ranjit Sinha, the politician in nexus with Ranjit Sinha, the diary entries, they need a thorough
few minutes on the debate. Now we'll go to the political part of the debate.
Only a investigation will substantiate the noting in the diary. The diary will not get substantiated on its own.
I am only going to say, I'm not going to get rhetorical, extremist, radical, and do all that. The diary needs to be investigated. I am not going to go into if the diary implicates politicians, then yes, politicians.
Mr. Tulsi, please. Okay, 1 second. Mr. Jethmalani, wait a minute. Mr. Tulsi, sorry to keep you waiting. Mr. Tulsi, now that
BJP, then BJP should
the question goes to Mr. Tulsi.
If the diary implicates the BJP, then the BJP should be investigated.
Mr. Tulsi, who's a Rajya Sabha member of Parliament, he usually on many issues backs the Congress party position. Mr. Tulsi, do you believe there should also be an investigation now? Do you believe there should be an investigation, Mr. Tulsi, on why the Congress party was always backing a man called Ranjit Sinha? That should also be a subject of a separate investigation now.
No. The most serious allegations are with regard to his meeting with the accused in a clandestine manner regularly, dozens of times, at his residence, at all odd times. Now, all this has happened in the last 6 months, after the new government came into power. And these are this is the gravest
that's not true.
Misdemeanors.
Come on, Tulsi.
Misconduct is with regard to this period.
I think your identity needs to be disclosed.
You can't question the appointment.
I think, please, are you speaking as Wardra spokesperson or Congress spokesperson?
Why should I speak as a spokesperson?
Diary has been in public domain, in public knowledge for the last 4 months.
Yes, I can hear you.
What did your government do? Did it act on the diary? Why couldn't you ask Ranjit Sinha to step down? You want a weak and compromised CBI director.
Sorry.
Mr. Jethmalani.
The diaries can only be
anarchists. Aam Aadmi Party, you are anarchists.
Arnab, the diaries were before the Supreme Court. The matter was sub judice.
You and Kejriwal have no respect
now
for the
law. Now the government must take action on the diaries. Now that the Supreme Court has pronounced the judgment, the government must take action.
I asked KTS Tulsi once again, Mr. Tulsi, when the revelations of the diary surfaced in September, when it came to be known that several people, corporates, politicians, stooges, corporate stooges, all kinds of brokers and dalals were regularly visiting the house of the CBI chief. And when it had been alleged that Sinha was interfering with the 2G probe, the Congress party came out and supported Ranjit Sinha all out. All out support for Ranjit Sinha. 1 second, Mr. KTS Tulsi, has this got something to do with the fact that many of the people who had visited the CBI chief's house are seen to be close to certain very top Congress insiders?
Well, that was all the more a reason for the government to take stern view of the matter.
No.
And
what about the Congress?
Not only removed but dismissed.
No, what about Congress? Okay, let me make it simpler. Were Congress leaders using Ranjit Sinha to get their dirty jobs done?
I don't know. I'm not concerned with that. I'm only talking about a legal issue.
No, I'm asking you about
a legal issue.
Sir, I am asking you, the Congress misused the CBI.
I can't speak for the Congress.
Sir, the Congress misused the CBI. The law minister interfered by letting the CBI, vetting the CBI status report into the coal scam. So was there a nexus between the then law minister, the CBI chief and the scamsters?
The question today is the order, the hearing before the Supreme Court is with regard to the allegations made by Prashant Bhushan in the NGO in their application before the Supreme Court.
Sir, Ranjit Sinha. No, sir, Ranjit Sinha is Sir, Ranjit Sinha.
The Supreme Court finds them credible.
Sir,
and not only credible today. In fact, these allegations were always credible because they were admitted.
So why
the Director Ranjit Sinha admitted having met these people.
Sir,
and in fact, he tried to justify it.
Okay, let's look.
The very fact that he admitted the action should have been taken at that time.
Sir, 1 minute. Sir, 1 minute.
Action should have been taken immediately.
Sir, I take you back to November 2012 when Ranjit Sinha was appointed for a 2-year period. At that point of time, you know that the UPA government, once a UPA government was riddled with scams, you wanted a pliant person, somebody who would just do your bidding, a spineless and perhaps even a taintable person as the CBI chief. The BJP said, don't appoint this man. The procedure for his appointment is wrong. It says the collegium system must be used to appoint the CBI director. The Congress party did not budge and brought in Ranjit Sinha through the back door. Then there are allegations that Congress leaders worked their way through Ranjit Sinha and maybe used him to settle many important cases. After all, Ranjit Sinha in February this year, when you were in power, had actually called for the dropping of the charges in 3 pending cases against Lalu Yadav in the fodder scam, and Lalu Yadav was your political ally.
So why did the government not take action against him?
So you were using Ranjit Sinha.
Why did the present government not take action against him?
No. Why
did the present government not take action?
But why did you do it?
Makes it even more worse.
Okay. Why did the present government not take action is a secondary question. Let GVL Narasimha Rao answer that.
Why is the
GVL Narasimha Rao answer that?
From September onwards, when everything is in the public domain,
Mr. Rao.
As I made my position clear at the beginning,
Mr. Rao.
His appointment itself, the BJP had raised several questions about his appointments right at the outset. And we have, throughout the tenure, we have called this the Congress Bureau of Investigation because the Congress party and Mr. Tulsi's clients, the Gandhi Nehrus, his clients, they were using the CBI to fix the political rivals. This was being used as a Congress Bureau of Investigation.
So why did the present government not take any action?
I think Ashish Khetan, you are in the Congress party, we know this. You are a small timer in the Congress party, we know this. We don't have to speak for
the party president.
Congress separately.
CBI accused
you are a
BJP
small
president.
timer, we all know this.
So 1 minute, Ashish Khetan, the debate is right now between KTS Tulsi and GVL Narasimha Rao. Ashish, just back up 1 second. Why are you targeting Mr. Tulsi personally? Why are you going personally after him? I mean, answer the question, Mr. Narasimha Rao. He's thrown the question back at you. I asked.
His lineage, his links, his clientele is widely known. He speaks for Vadra on all television shows. So let him not pretend that he's a neutral observer on this panel discussion. I want him to come clean on this. He is taking a position, always takes a position for Robert Vadra and the Congress party. So I see him.
So what's the link between Robert Vadra and the CBI chief? I don't get that.
You have 2 of them. You also have a Khetan who represents the Congress party and all its dirty politics. So you have 2 Congress panelists who are pretending not to belong to the Congress party, and then they are raising questions about me.
You represent rapists.
Is that why you can't defend the Congress government?
Your former bosses are rapists.
Why you can't defend the government?
Khetan, the kind of journalism that you come from, the kind of journalism you come from, the kind of rape acts that you have indulged in, your former bosses is widely known.
To Maharashtra. GVL Narasimha Rao, you are
your former bosses and all of you are engaged in similar acts.
Who is your boss today? Your boss is Adani.
1 minute, okay, one second. I think we've drifted away. We've drifted away.
1
minute, gentlemen. We've drifted away. But one last question, one last turn to KTS Tulsi and Mahesh Jethmalani. Don't get into this personal name calling. I sincerely ask a question. And 1 second. Mr. Tulsi, I have a right to ask the question. What are we talking about? We are talking of a syndicate. A syndicate that includes the CBI chief, that includes the Congress leaders, that includes the UPA government, right? this was a syndicate which was hoping to work together to somehow slow down or end prosecution in several cases involving Congress leaders who had been targeted by serious scams exposed by channels like Times Now. If you have the CBI chief in your pocket, if you have the CBI chief in your pocket, then your job becomes easier. So don't tell me today that the Congress leaders did not use Ranjit Sinha. Today you can't just come out and say sack him.
So who?
So what?
Which is the syndicate? The syndicate today.
Congress leaders then.
Today or for the last 6 months has changed. The question is that when the misdemeanors of this gentleman came
That's a secondary question.
And he even admitted meeting them.
That's a secondary question, sir. That's a secondary question, sir. That's a secondary question. Mahesh Jethmalani. Mr. Jethmalani.
This is most primary question.
It's a secondary question, sir. The first primary question is why you set up this man Ranjit Sinha and used him in the way that you did. Yes, Mr. Jethmalani.
That's irrelevant.
Mr. Jethmalani.
The fact of the matter is that the Congress crime squad, the CBI, are legion. The Congress has no face to show as far as subverting the CBI and many other institutions are concerned.
The BJP seems to be doing better.
As far as the BJP, as far as the present BJP's government is concerned, they so far as the matter was sub judice before the Supreme Court, and that's been for the last 3 months, it was all right for them not to interfere. Now that the Supreme Court has pronounced judgment, it is time for them first to write to Mr. Ranjit Sinha saying that in view of the Supreme Court's observations, it behoves you to resign on the ground of
Supreme Court
never prohibited and Supreme Court they had never prohibited the government to take any action against Ranjit Sinha. Mahesh, you should also reveal that you are the counsel for Amit Shah and Mr. Narasimha.
There is a Supreme Court judgment which prohibits any action.
I'm
really sorry, Mahesh.
I think Aam Aadmi Party pretends not to know law.
I'm sorry, Ashish. You are trying to use scoring points. You have no legs to stand on. You test the government from tomorrow. If tomorrow the government doesn't investigate the diary, then you have a cause for grievance.
Did Supreme Court stop this?
But as of now, you are only using political brownie points.
I want to ask you. Did Supreme Court?
I think tonight, just one point because I'm running short of time. If Ranjit Sinha is allowed to retire, it will be a slap in the face of propriety. Now, Mr. Sinha, if you want to slap propriety in its face, it's your choice. You have to be really shameless to do that. Thank you very much for joining me on debate number 1 on the News Hour tonight.